It is my privilege to call to order the 84th annual meeting of the Northwoods Credit Union. Membership meetings are for the purpose of giving us, as members, the opportunity to speak up, to voice our opinions, and help determine what is good for strengthening and developing our credit union. In that spirit, we invite all of you to participate in the proceedings of the evening. You can participate by placing your comments in the chat window. I now call this meeting to order. I call upon Board Secretary Christine to verify and read the proof of meeting notice.
I verify that the meeting notice postcard was sent to all members of record stating the 84th annual meeting of Northwoods Credit Union was to be held on Monday, March 22nd at 7 p.m.
Thank you. First order of business is roll call for the Board of Directors, the Supervisory Committee members. On your screen, you will see the listing of the Board of Directors and members of the Supervisory Committee.
Chairperson Jeff Kletcher.
Present.
Vice Chairperson Larry Champeau.
Online.
Secretary Christine Ringett. Treasurer Ann Danaski.
Online.
Director Lisa Follett-Pollock.
Online.
Director Debbie Larson.
Online.
Director Nathan Manner.
Online.
Supervisory Committee Nick Siltonen.
Present.
Casey Olson.
Online.
Vicky Radke.
Online. Christine, have you established whether there is a quorum present?
Yes, there being 46 members in attendance, a quorum has been established. This is a legal meeting.
Thank you. The next item before us is approving the minutes of the last annual meeting. The minutes of the last annual meeting can be found on page 3 and 4 of the annual meeting booklet that was emailed to you. These minutes were reviewed and approved at the April 2020 Board of Directors meeting. If there are any concerns or additions to the minutes, please add your comments in this chat box on your computer. Seeing none, there being no changes to the 2020 annual meeting minutes, as read, as presented, they are hereby approved. We are now ready to hear the report of the board, which I will give. On behalf of the Board of Directors, committees, and staff, I welcome you to the 84th annual meeting of Northwoods Credit Union. My report is located on page 1 of the annual report, which was emailed to you prior to tonight's meeting. I will provide you a few highlights from that written report and update you on a few other items. 2020 was a year of disruption and progress. Disruption from the impacts of the coronavirus, its effect on you, our members, and our operations, forcing some of our employees to work remotely, forcing the Board of Directors to meet most of the year virtually, and the forced closing of our lobbies. The board, management team, and our staff did an amazing job working through the coronavirus issues. I am happy to report that our lobbies are now all open. Thank you for understanding, and thank you for using the drive-ups as well as all of our online and mobile services. The credit union's assets grew from $120 million to $140 million, a 16.7% increase. Total shares grew 20.7% from 106.8 million to 128.9 million. We expect 2021 to be a good year for the credit union. We recently completed phase 2 of our Cloquet facility master plan with the completion of the Avenue B office remodel. The remodeled office makes for a much more efficient use of the building. As was discussed at our annual meeting last year, the board, at the encouragement of the state regulator, did consider updating our bylaws. The board did approve and received state regulator approval in August 2020 to update the bylaws and then to the then current standard bylaws for the state of Minnesota chartered credit unions. There were a couple of areas in the new bylaws that are different from the previous ones. First, the election process has changed. Most notably that no nominations are no longer accepted from the floor for the annual meeting unless there are not enough nominations for a particular position from the nominating committee or by petition. The board believes this change ensures that those members wishing to serve on the board have a chance to have their backgrounds checked prior to the vote at the annual meeting and allows their biographies to be published for the members to see prior to the annual meeting and in the annual meeting booklet. The other significant change is that members of the supervisory committee will now be appointed by the board of directors. This is by far the most common way that credit unions fill positions on the supervisory committee. This process will ensure that truly qualified members will fill this very important role in the credit union. I want to thank my fellow board members for all the work they have put in this year. The board members and I would also like to thank all of the management team and staff for their dedication to serving our members and how they managed through a very challenging year at the credit union. Finally, as always, we thank you, our members, for continuing to support your credit union by utilizing the services offered. We look forward to many more successful years ahead. If there are any comments or questions relating to the report of the board, please submit them in the chat box and we will discuss them at the close of the meeting. The report and my comments have been received and will be part of the minutes of this meeting. The next order of business tonight is the report of the president given by Doug Wolf.
Thank you, Jeff. My written report can be found in the annual meeting booklet, and I would like to add a few thoughts. In the future, when we look back at 2020, it will be forever framed by the COVID-19 pandemic. In my 38 plus years of working within the credit union movement, I can honestly say that nothing prepared us for what we would face in 2020 with COVID-19. It caused us to assess and adjust at lightning speed, from figuring out how over half of our employees could work from home, to our board meeting virtually, to wearing masks, social distancing, and putting up plexiglass barriers. And to you, our members, adjusting to how much could be done via drive-ups and online banking. But we did figure it out. And most importantly, we did not panic. This experience has given us great lessons in our ability to adjust and how we can effectively and efficiently provide services in the future. It is getting us to think more broadly about how our facilities may look in the future and how and where our staff may work from. The world has certainly changed. Despite the disruptions and uncertainties posed by COVID-19, we remain firm in our support of our communities. Even when community organizations had to cancel their 2020 fundraising efforts, we decided to continue our financial support at the same levels as in the past. And in June 2020, we made our first installment of our commitment to become a major sponsor of the Cloquet Public Library with an initial donation of $40,000 to help defray costs associated with their building expansion project. And over the next 4 years, we will donate another $40,000. We refer to our core values as our SPICE values. And these values of servant mentality, progressive thinking, integrity, compassion, and empathy is something we deeply believe in. To recognize our staff for these values, we started our employee recognition program in 2020 with our SPICE values, Employees of the Quarter and Employee of the Year. Brenda A., Crystal B., Amanda W., and Trevor W. were our Employees of the Quarter in 2020, with Crystal being named Employee of the Year. Congratulations to them and all of our staff who were nominated by their coworkers for displaying our core SPICE values. When our members speak, we do listen. While we are not always able to accommodate every question or concern, we do our best at least to review that concern and reassess what we do. To this end, we recently adjusted our inactive account fee, waiving this fee for primary account holders under the age of 19. We never impose fees lightly or just to bolster our bottom line. Instead, we try to provide services that you, our members, need and want, while at the same time covering expenses for that service at a fair price. 2021 looks to be a good year for us. We should have good financial results, and we look forward to continuing to grow and increase the use of our services. The effects of COVID-19 will linger, but we expect to get back to more normal operations, and we have taken the first steps with the opening of our branches. Finally, it is not me who makes our credit union so outstanding. It is the unselfish efforts of our team of dedicated staff, and I am very thankful every single day for all that they do. We are blessed with a talented and knowledgeable management team that works together well and fully believes in our mission and vision and values. I thank them for all that they do. And being a financial cooperative, Northwood's Board of Directors and Supervisory Committee is made up of members just like you that willingly step forward to provide the needed leadership and direction for our credit union. They always act in the best interest of our members and appropriately keep myself and my team accountable and focused. I deeply thank them all for their dedication, support, and guidance. I also want to thank you, our members, for supporting your credit union with your deposits, investments, loans, and supporting us by using all of our services. Thank you so much. Mr. Chairman, that concludes my remarks.
Thank you, Doug. You have heard the report to the president. If there are any comments or questions relating to the report of the president, please submit them in the chat box and we will discuss them at the close of the meeting. His report, Doug's report, has been recorded as part of the minutes. We are ready to hear the report of the Supervisory Committee to be given by the Supervisory Committee Chairperson. Thank you, Nick.
Thank you, Jeff. Good evening, everybody. The Supervisory Committee report as follows. The Supervisory Committee works in conjunction with the Board of Directors to monitor and review the credit union's performance. Our job is to verify that the operational and financial functions are performed in compliance with the generally accepted accounting principles, federal and state regulations, and within the parameters of the board's direction. To assist, the committee is meeting its legal and regulatory obligations. The committee retains the services of Tatman Associates to perform certain ongoing internal audits, procedures within operations of the credit union. In addition, the committee engages the services of RSM US LLP to perform agreed upon procedures to assist the committee in fulfilling the regulatory obligation for an audit. RSM's last report was done on June 30th of 2020. The reports from this independent firms are reviewed by the committee, reported to the board, and the committee follows up on all and any findings. Based on the above independent audit procedures, and the ongoing work of the committee, the supervisory committee is pleased to report that in 2020, no material concerns were revealed. The committee expresses gratitude to the board of directors, the credit union management, and the staff for the cooperation and assistance during the year. Respectfully, Nick Siltanen, Chair.
You have heard the report of the supervisory committee. Thank you, Nick. If there are any comments or questions relating to the report of the supervisory committee, please submit them in the chat box and we will discuss them at the close of the meeting. Nick's report has been received and will be part of the minutes for this meeting. Is there any unfinished business from the floor? If so, please comment by entering in the chat box. At this time, I will turn the meeting over to President for the purpose of discussing board and committee compensation rates. Doug.
Thank you, Jeff. Each year at the annual meeting, the membership votes on board and committee compensation. The current rate of pay is $21 per hour, which has not changed since the 2015 annual meeting. Is there any discussion from the floor? And I will entertain a motion to set the board and committee compensation effective the end of this meeting until the end of the 2022 annual meeting of the members of Northwoods Credit Union. Please indicate a motion on board and committee compensation in the chat box. We have one motion. Okay. We have a motion on the floor for compensation at $21. Will someone second that motion? In the chat box. We have a second. We have a motion and a duly seconded motion to continue the current rate of pay for the board of directors and the supervisory committee at the rate of $21 per hour. You will now see a online poll, and this is how we will vote on that motion. If you are in favor of the motion, vote yes. If you are against the motion, vote no. Please vote now. We will end the polling in 30 seconds. Mr. Chairman, the motion has been approved.
Thank you. Is there any other new business? Hearing no other new business, we are now ready to proceed to the election process. There are 2 seats up for election in 2021 to serve 3-year terms. The 2 incumbents have been placed into nomination by the nominating committee, and there were no other nominations from the committee, nor were there any nominations by petition. Given there are only 2 nominees for the 2 board of directors seat up for election, I declare by acclamation the election of Debbie Larson and Nathan Manner to 3-year terms on the board of directors. Please join me in congratulating Debbie and Nathan. We will now address any questions or comments that came through the chat function. None have been received. This would be your last call for any of those comments. There being no other business to come before the membership, I declare the 84th annual meeting of Northwoods Credit Union adjourned.